Intelligence and spontaneity. Most of the people are intelligent. It is rare to find amongst them those of extraordinary intelligence or the stupid or idiotic. These rarities are not being judged here. Therefore, this discussion is about the common people or the majority of the people. This is not a discussion on extraordinary intelligence, because the basis of extraordinary intelligence is spontaneity, so it must exist in these people naturally. As for the stupid people and the idiots, their treatment is useless, as it was said in the past, faalij la faalij, which means if it is in semi-paralysis, don't treat it. Therefore, we do not target them nor pay attention to treating them. They will continue to be stupid whatever efforts are spent on them. Nothing will benefit them regarding spontaneity, whether it is the treatment of those of them who work with physical matters, like the carpenters and blacksmiths, or those who work with and in thought, like the teachers and ideological politicians. This is because, despite their work in these fields, this does not add anything to them, for the problem is in the innate nature, i.e., the way they were created. Thus, treatment should be for the common or the majority of the people. Though intelligence needs definition, it is, however, like the term spontaneity. So, it can be of the type that needs definition or of the automatic, faalij, type. Making all of intelligence of the automatic type is better. However, it is better to define it, for it may be beneficial. If we defined intelligence, we still take it as automatic. It is thus enough to utter the word intelligence for us to know what it is. Most people differentiate between the intelligent and the non-intelligent. They differentiate between the extraordinary intelligence and the ordinary intelligence, just by knowing the word intelligence alone and by seeing or accompanying the people. Intelligence is the speed of sensation and the speed of linking. Any other definition would only be entering into the details, which is of no use. The mind transfers the reality to the brain through sensation, beside previous information to explain this reality. This definition of mind explains intelligence. The speed of sensation means the speed of transferring the reality to the brain. The previous information means the linkage. Therefore, intelligence is quick sensation and quick linkage. Thus, intelligence is a type of mind, a type of thought, and a type of thinking. So, what applies to mind, thought, and thinking applies to it. If one examines this closely, he finds that it is dependent on sensation and linkage. The speed of this represents intelligence, i.e., it represents the action of the distinguished mind or the distinguished thought or the distinguished thinking. Therefore, intelligence is spontaneity. The stupid or foolish people are not the subject of discussion because it is difficult or impossible to treat them, nor are the extraordinarily intelligent people the subject of treatment because they have natural spontaneity. Treatment is for the common people and the remaining majority of the people. They have enough intelligence for spontaneity, but they also need treatment. The treatment of spontaneity treats the speed of sensation and the speed of linkage, i.e., it treats the intelligence. Therefore, intelligence and spontaneity are equivalent such that one is inseparable from the other. Thus, the presence of intelligence as such is necessary to create spontaneity. The absence of intelligence negates any work to create spontaneity, or even spontaneity itself is negated. Those who carry out the physical work and those who work in thought and with thought are both equal in intelligence, for they are of the common people. The intelligence does not mean the type of work that the brain undertakes, though it is connected with intelligence. It rather means the working person himself, the level of his readiness to accept the treatment and quick pursuance of this treatment. Both those who are asked, in the process of treatment, to be spontaneous and those who are trained in spontaneity by questions have intelligence. So this intelligence is used in the treatment. This is either by the person using his intelligence by himself, like those who work in and with thought, or by making the questions presented to the person the type which touch intelligence in order to make him use this intelligence by necessity. Therefore, it is said about the person who directs the question that he used intelligence. This is because by the selection of the kind of questions that touch intelligence, it seems as if intelligence has been used. The truth is that in both cases, the person himself used intelligence. In the case of those who work with and in thought, the person himself uses intelligence from the start. In the case of those who carry out physical work, the person is provoked into using intelligence. In both cases, it is the same. That is, the person uses intelligence by himself. However, one might use this intelligence without indication, direction, or provocation, or with indication, direction, or provocation. This is the difference between them. Therefore, spontaneity means intelligence, and intelligence means spontaneity. Thus, there is a complete connection between intelligence and spontaneity. This is because intelligence creates spontaneity, the use of intelligence manifests it. Spontaneity does not come about except with the intelligent, and its presence means the presence of intelligence. Thus, though intelligence and spontaneity are two different matters, they are one united thing. The use of intelligence is the basis in spontaneity. Accordingly, the use of intelligence is the basis in initiating spontaneity in the people. This is the case regarding those who carry out physical actions, where initiating spontaneity or the use of intelligence needs direction or incitement. It is also the case for those who work with and in thought, i.e., those where initiating spontaneity or the use of intelligence by them does not need direction or indication. How can intelligence be used? How does its use by the person proceed? The answer to the first question is as follows. Intelligence is quick sensation and quick linkage of a sensation that arises from a reality, whether it is a physical or intellectual reality. This creates the first step towards using intelligence, which is the sensation. The speed of this sensation comes from the alertness to the sensed things, i.e., from the thing that is sensed. Alertness to what the senses encounter is indispensable. This alertness is that the reality that one's sensation encounters draws one's alertness. So, for example, you might be driving a car and see some fluid flowing in the road. If your alertness made you realize that it is petrol, which you know can burn very easily, then the alertness to the flowing petrol and the realization that it burns means that you have spontaneity in recognizing the approaching danger. Therefore, your thinking will be about measures to take to escape from the road. If you had such spontaneity and took immediate measures to flee, then you could escape the danger without delay, i.e., with extraordinary speed. However, if you were not alert to the fact that it is petrol, then this would not bring awareness to the fact that it will burn. This would lead you to continue down the street and end up in the middle of a fire when the petrol ignites. This is because of not having spontaneity, i.e., not being alert to the fact that the liquid was petrol and that it will burn. Thus, you may be injured or the car might catch fire, for you cannot save yourself or the car from the fire. This would result from the lack of spontaneity. So the speed of sensation results from the alertness, or is due to it, and is what initiates the use of intelligence. As for the speed of linkage, it comes, in the mentioned example, from using the previous information that petrol burns easily. What allowed the use of previous information, or its quick linkage with the incident, is alertness to the fact that what is flowing in the street is petrol and not sewage or water. Thus, quick sensation that came from attention is the reason for making the linkage, and consequently the quick linkage. It may be said that the danger of burning is what quickened the linkage. The answer to this is that the danger motivates you to take needed measures, but it does not motivate you to make quick linkage. Quick linkage comes from attention to the fact that the flow in the street is petrol. Your understanding that petrol burns is previous information, which is linked or is quickly linked. So the cause of the speed in linking is that the sensed reality before you obliges you to link. This is what initiated the speed. Thus the linkage, or the speed of linkage, is treated after you examine what was flowing in the street. Thus, you would have quick sensation and quick linkage. This is the use of intelligence. Thus, the use of intelligence is alertness to the sensed reality and then linking with it the previous information you have about it, which then creates quick alertness. Thus, the use of intelligence created the alertness. Therefore, it is said that spontaneity is the use of intelligence, or the result of using intelligence. Thus, the basis is the use of intelligence. It might be said, it is preferable to say that it is necessary to use intelligence so as to develop or initiate spontaneity. After that, one would say that to create spontaneity with people one would have to encourage them to use intelligence. The answer to this is that using the intelligence is the origin and the result. Besides, it is not an easy matter. Therefore, there must be a pointer or a stimulator to create spontaneity. It is otherwise enough to make the name of spontaneity an automatic matter so it can be known without the need to philosophize or think. This is most likely to create spontaneity, or it is what creates spontaneity. As for the use of intelligence, besides being a matter of analysis, philosophy, and thinking, it is difficult to fully understand it. So, leaving it to come spontaneously is better than making it the origin and the cause. Thus, one finds that endeavors to create spontaneity are a must. It might create spontaneity if one is presently preoccupied with it, and it might not create it if one is preoccupied with something else. In both cases, intelligence is used. Therefore, intelligence is always used. However, in the case of spontaneity, one uses it when preoccupied with it or its study. Therefore, one should not be concerned with the use of intelligence, but rather preoccupied with other things, allowing it to come naturally, spontaneously, and unintentionally, without intention or action. The use of intelligence is very important, particularly for spontaneity. However, its use in spontaneity is only achieved if this use of intelligence took place spontaneously, naturally, and unintentionally. This is because pursuance of it distances spontaneity instead of bringing it closer. Pursuance also makes the use of intelligence a cause for the lack of spontaneity, instead of being a cause for its existence, though intelligence is what creates spontaneity. Therefore, we say spontaneity does not result from the direct use of intelligence, it rather results from pointers and stimulators, or it comes from uttering the word spontaneity, although the use of intelligence creates spontaneity. We said spontaneity does not exist, nor we concern ourselves with initiating it, except in the intelligent people. What is meant by this is those with normal intelligence and not the extraordinary, the stupid, or the foolish. The intelligent people represent the vast majority of the Ummah. These intelligent people, whatever their work may be, are the ones with whom it is necessary to create spontaneity as an important matter with which to engage in life's affairs. This is because life is full of surprises. The teacher, for example, is in the business of imparting specific information to the students. This action is a purely intellectual work, i.e., it is work with and in thought. Thus, the surprises that occur could occur during the lesson itself, whether new information he did not know or he knew in a different way, might emerge unexpectedly, so he must act towards it. If one lets himself think, study, or investigate, this might make the matter more vague. It might even cause ambiguity in information that is already clear. Surprises might also occur from students. So the teacher might discover intelligence in a stupid or foolish student, the opposite might also happen. A student might also put questions he learnt or were given to him, but the teacher might think they are from the student himself. Physical surprises might also occur from the students, such as if one of them fainted, or if a student left and did not return, or other such events. If the teacher had spontaneity and such surprises occurred, he would take the action that leads to a favorable end or the right result he seeks. If, however, he didn't have spontaneity, he would find himself in trouble, or he would take action that would lead to the opposite result, other than the measure he wanted or required in the subject matter. Therefore, teachers must have spontaneity. This is because the surprises that occur from them, to them, or in front of them require that they take measures that save them from such surprises. If they didn't have spontaneity, they will become confused or take harmful measures. This leads them and the Ummah to destruction and harm. Similar to the teacher is the engineer, doctor, and the ideological politician, every person whose work is in and with thought. Surprises occur to such people in the thought itself, in the physical actions related to it, or in the material itself which one uses, such as the student with the teacher, the sick person with the doctor, or the house or the map with the engineer, etc. Therefore, spontaneity is necessary. The same applies to the laborers, merchants, farmers, and craftspeople. They are highly likely to face surprises in everything in their practical life, whether in the work they perform or in other issues. It is necessary to take measures towards such surprises. The benefit or harm of these measures, their usage at the right time and place, or delay from the right time, all depend on the reality. There is quite a difference between the two cases. The action varies according to the people, whether they have spontaneity or not. In order to correct this action and make it a sound one, it is necessary to create spontaneity in all the people, whether they are those who work with the material or with the thought. As a result, the benefit which one aims to achieve will be realized. Since these people are intelligent, their spontaneity varies with the intelligence they have, in terms of strength or weakness. Therefore, the basis of spontaneity and its creation is the intelligence of the person. Thus, intelligence, or the presence of intelligence, is one of the necessities of spontaneity. Without intelligence, there is no spontaneity, and it cannot be created. Intelligence is the basis, and it counts for everything in life. Moreover, intelligence is a requirement for an action to be chosen. It is true that the action is taken based on spontaneity, or based on the use of intelligence. However, though the stimulator for the action is spontaneity or the use of intelligence, it is in pressing need for intelligence. This is because the action is the result, the fruit, and the benefit of spontaneity or use of intelligence. Therefore, it is very important. So it needs intelligence, i.e., natural intelligence. In the example of the petrol, the driver took the decision of leaving the street the moment he noticed that what was flowing on the street was petrol. He linked that with his previous information that petrol burns easily. However, his driving away from the spillage, though inspired by the presence of the danger, or spontaneity, or the use of intelligence, could be a problem itself. There might be an obstacle in the way, maybe one that prevents escape, or one that makes it difficult. Therefore, intelligence is necessary to overcome this. This action needed intelligence. Therefore, the natural intelligence is necessary in or for taking action. When it is said that intelligence counts for everything in life, this is completely true. It is necessary in spontaneity and in using intelligence, and also in taking necessary action. Taking measures without intelligence might increase the trouble and it might save from trouble. Either of these two cases depends on the presence of intelligence. The only thing that takes the measures that save from trouble, like driving away from the road in the previous example of the petrol, is intelligence. What makes the measure itself increase the trouble is the absence of intelligence. How would a person gain by realizing that what was flowing is petrol, link this quickly to the fact that petrol burns easily, but then continuing down the road hoping to find an exit, without using intelligence or without having enough intelligence to help him to overcome the difficulties of leaving the road? In such a case, he would not overcome the difficulties. Thus, he advanced further hoping to find an exit, thus increasing in trouble and falling into destruction. Therefore, the existence of intelligence is necessary to take an action. Thus, intelligence is essential for spontaneity and in taking the measure resulting from spontaneity. This is because taking this measure depends on intelligence. Choosing a certain measure to escape the problem or the predicament or the anxiety is essential. He chooses, rather, he must choose. However, this choice depends on the intelligence. If he were intelligent, he would choose the required measure. If, however, he were not intelligent, he would take a measure that increases his difficulties. Therefore, the presence of intelligence is crucial in taking the measure, in order to choose the measure that saves, not the measure that increases trouble. Thus, intelligence is necessary for spontaneity, it is also necessary for taking a measure. It is rather essential in everything, because intelligence is the origin and it counts in everything in life.